Uh, Welcome, colleagues. In the present voting program, the students Javier Altamirano, David Guachi, and Andres Tipan. In this code, we are going to explain how to use MySQL in a voting program with a graphical interface in NetBeans, in which there will be candidates, number of recent votes, electoral district, and the number of people voting in each electoral district. And it will provide use with a record. Uh, the next colleges. Uh, I see.
Okay, in the connection class for name, this method is used to name a key load a class at runtime in the context of the connection class for name is used to load the MySQL specific JDBC driver. This is the necessary for the driver manager to in interact with the MySQL database. Driver manager.get connection. This static method of the driver manager class is used to establish a connection to a database. It receives several parameters including the database URL, username and password. In the code, driver manager get connection is called to obtain a connection to the MySQL database specified by the URL, username and password. SQL exception SQL exception is a specific exception class for handling errors related to database operations. It is thrown when an exception occurs during interaction with the database, such as connections, errors, incorrect queries, the data integrity violations, among others in the login interface. On line 31, an instance of the connection class created and the parameters is passed to the constructor. This creates a database connection object with the specific database name. On line 32, the connect method of the CX object is called to establish the connection to the database. Statement is an interface in Java that represents a static precompiled SQL statement that is executed in a database. It is used to send queries and updates to the database. Results in an interface in Java that represents a result set of SQL query results. It provides methods to iterate and access the data returned by the query income. It is used to store the result of the executed query in the database. rs.next is a result set interface method used to move the cursor to the next record in the result set. It returns true if there are more records available, available and false if there are no more records. In count, it is used in an if structure to check if there is valid record in the result sets and perform actions accordingly. Execute query method is used only for select queries. It is used to execute MySQL queries and retrieve a result set in the options interface. Rows rows affected rows affected is used to store the number of rows affected by an update query in the database. Rows affected is only used when query is a CRUD operations in the this case update. The st.execute update method is used to execute an update query specified by the query string and returns the number of affected rows. The next.
Okay, so let's see the graphical interface. So please run the code. Okay, in this part, we can enter as user and as admin. When entering as user, the code is reading the data from MySQL. So please enter as user, no. So introduce our ID number and the next step. Uh, for for the code run, first we open the data from MySQL. So open our date. Wait a moment, please. Okay, now we should enter as users, so enter our ID number. Okay, and next, once we enter as user, the user only has the option to vote. So we choose our candidate, and finally we can vote. So in this case, we are vote for number 2, and the register has been finalized. Okay, so uh, so once all this process is done, we return to the beginning, and now we enter as admin. So please, yes, enter as admin. Okay, and the admin only has the option to see the results of the voting and to be able to choose a winner. So now we can see the result before we can vote, and with this way we see how the code works with the interface graphic. So now look, we can see the ID number, the names, the result, um, for how candidate we choose. So it's all for this program and for group number 2. Thank you.